Okay, my name's Ronnie Vallbona, originally from the Sunshine State of Miami, Florida. I grew up there. Uh, Parents died when I was young, 2 and 3 years old, one after another. Grandmother raised me, and had a hard life most of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So you're at Macedonia. You go to church there with me and the folks. Was church a part of your life at all growing up, or?
Well, I was made to go when I was younger. Really wasn't into it other than the sports. We had a softball team, and I really enjoyed that, but I wasn't into the whole Jesus thing. Oh, and I got to play on at the Christmas band, the Little Drummer Boy. I
Yep.
played the snare for that, but as far as faith and belief and stuff, spiritually, no, I wasn't into it. When I was growing up, I was just, like a decoration or an ornament or something to go to church.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about growing up. So you grew up in Miami.
Yeah, I grew up in Miami. Like I said, my grandmother raised me, so I was spoiled rotten, and learned how I could manipulate her,
Yeah.
to get the things that I wanted young, which didn't help as my adult life. Being an addict, I became an addict. Always thinking of self and doing what I wanted to do, and not having Jesus in my life, is I see now.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
a big part of it.
So you grew up with her. Went to high school there.
Yeah, I went to high school, played ball. I was my OCD and always having to do something. I always had to be involved in it. I played football, basketball, and baseball. I got kicked out of basketball because I was too rough. My blocks were too aggressive,
Yep. Yep.
so that didn't work out. But I struggled with addiction a lot because of my personality and wanted to do everything my way
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah. Did you go to college or?
No, I didn't go to college, but when I had my injury, this is because of my addiction. I went to vocational rehab, so I could stay working. Heavy equipment operator, I've got training in that, and I love that, Heavy equipment, forklift, I do now all the time. Material handler,
Yeah.
I kind of like to be like the center of attention, the thing people depend on, so
Yep.
that helps.
Yeah. So were you in the? Correct me if I'm wrong. Were you in the military?
Yes, I did 6 years in the Army, and those back then and even to now are my best memories. And I probably wouldn't be alive had it not been for the military and the discipline instilled in me there. And I thrived in that because I was always busy. I was always learning something, and I felt needed and wanted, and I had a job mission to accomplish all
Yep.
the time. So I really enjoyed that. I got out because I hadn't taken any vacation. That's my OCD. I always wanted to go when it was time. We're allotted time for vacation. I'd pick a school to go to. Whether weapons school or foreign school, some kind of foreign military training. I always went to that instead of going home and being with family. Spending quality time. So when it came time to re-enlist the second time, I was offered to re-enlist for 6 years. They said they were through playing around with me for a year or two at a time. They said 6 years if I wanted to keep my rank and stuff. So I said, well, let me take my extended vacation that I have accumulated, and I'll let you know when I come back. I'll come back after my vacation. Well, I got involved with drugs outside, all my parties. It was that time, it was in the 80s, and all my friends that I had graduated from high school or gone to high school with, most of them were involved in that, and so on my vacation, that gave me kind of the sneaking around, hiding from the police, and doing other things was kind of like a rush too. So I got caught up in that, and then when I went re-enlisted again, which I should have done. So the drugs took over me then.
And you didn't re-enlist?
No, I didn't re-enlist. No, so I ended up doing 6 years. I got honorable discharge and stuff because it was my option, but had I stayed there, I could have done 20, 30 years, been retired by now.
How do you feel about obviously the addiction aspect of it? You're not a fan of. That's caused all kinds of things, right?
Yes, I've had a lot of legal issues, I'm a tough guy, so that, you know, the time in the jail and the lost time in my life, I don't regret any of that because it was all a learning experience. I just wish I'd known more about it, you know, about what addiction was and you know, what it did to you then.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I wasted a lot of time in my life in it. You know, I don't regret it because I think I have a lot to offer to ones just struggling and coming in, and that's why I help out how I can, you know, and the ministry we do here at the church, you know, going to pick them up and ministering to them, you know, whenever I get a chance to, you know. But it is what it is. Back then in the 80s, we didn't have the training and stuff, and they didn't know so much about it as they do today.
Yeah, it wasn't as people didn't talk about it as much.
Right, there wasn't the opportunities for like rehab and training people and classes and stuff that wasn't out there. You know, the outreach for the addicted wasn't out there in my days. You know. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think that contributed to you staying in addiction I don't know how long you were.
Oh gosh, 20, 30 years.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, you know, I started out just being a dealer and a smuggler, you know, and then just partaking in, you know, casually like a weekend warrior, you know, take it or leave it for a day or two, you know, but that only went so far. You know, after you do that for so long, next thing you know, you're addicted. You know, you're in it. You know, I got to the point where I couldn't sell it. You know, everything I got to sell or whatever, I'd party it up and do it. And
yeah.
It's over. You know, then people, you know, the dealers and the smugglers don't want to deal with you anymore because you're consuming all the money. You know, and you know, like I said, back then it wasn't like it is today, where, you know, it's out there. It's even on TV. You know, about addiction and stuff. When in my days they didn't have that, and I wasn't as knowledgeable as I am today.
Yeah.
About addiction.
So you mentioned helping out here at church. We don't have to go through the whole thing of your addiction, but I am curious as to how it has changed your perspective when it comes to helping those who do struggle with addiction, and then what you see as your ministry, because you do have a ministry.
Okay. As far as helping, like I said, when I was growing up in you know, in the 80s and had my exposure to it, initial exposure, there wasn't the training, there wasn't to show people, it wasn't on TV. You know, I couldn't go somewhere like, you know, the Hope Center or one of the programs and find out about it, or go to a church even, you know, and ask for help because it wasn't out there. Today, like you said, a ministry, yes, it's a ministry. I go out and pick up people for the church on Sundays to bring them here, but not only that, we talk about Jesus in recovery. Jesus is the one who saved my life. You know, coming to Macedonia, accepting God in my life is what has stopped me, my addiction. I try to tell that to the people we go out and see and pick up and come to church. We discuss it in the van. We talk to them there. They call me during the week. And I express to them my experience that I've had, you know, because that's all I can go off is what I've learned and what God has done for me in my recovery. And I've tried different venues, recovery centers and all that. And for me, it hadn't worked. You know, it worked for a month or two or three, you know, after I got out of the treatment. But if I wasn't in the treatment, I'd eventually end up back in my addiction. But with God in my life and just little things I do for the church, it's saved me. You know, I'm drug free, and I've got things unimaginable that I hadn't had in 20, 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty powerful to see your ministry here and just how faithful you are to bringing people who are struggling to church. I mean, every week it happens every week, and there's a good. How many people do you think come on Sunday?
I'd say anywhere from 10 to 16.
Yeah.
We fill up the van sometimes, yes, and a lot of them, the majority, I'd say 70% is the reoffenders.
Yeah.
What we call it in the jail system or in the drug addiction reoffenders. They're repeat, return. They come back. They want to come back,
Yeah.
and then it's not, because of me. It's because of what they get from the church, especially from Mark, and you and everybody who greets them. That's a discussion we've had in the van, is that how it's not like them ask, and they come to church and they ask for a handout. No, they're coming to church and receiving salvation or hope, or they get something out of it every week they come.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it's pretty incredible to see. I love just seeing everyone down there off the right,
Yeah.
singing and worshiping, and they're some of the most intense worshipers in our entire congregation. And
Amen. And I think that is because they're the most needy and they get the most out of it.
yeah,
They whatever little it is to somebody else, to them it's salvation.
Yeah.
It's like a new life, an opportunity at life, something that they couldn't get anywhere else.
so you obviously do a ton at Macedonia with the transportation stuff and Love Lunch.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about Love Lunch, and then tell me a few of the other ways you help out, and then we'll talk about outside of Macedonia.
Okay, Love Lunch, aside from, picking the people up, that Love Lunch just came to being because of Miss Carolyn. She would take us out first. Hey, do you have time to drive them, and I'll buy them lunch, and that's how that started. It progressed every week. Of course, and we go somewhere and we sit down with these people that don't have a home, and we sit there and we talk and we chat, we pray. We talk about their needs, and a lot of, most of the time somebody asks me, how has God helped you in your life, coming to church and stuff, and it's like like an outreach,
Yeah.
and I tell them a little bit of my story, specific examples, just really non-structured, and what was the rest of the question? The love lunch. So the Love Lunch, people are helping out. We're getting more people, and they enjoy it, and I enjoy it. Heck, me and B come to work at 7. I say, well, we get ready to come to church at 7 in the morning. Sometimes we don't get home till 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And that's through the Love Lunch, that, and helping them and asking them questions. And it's all because of the church. Some of them need this or need that. And if I can't do it, I'll ask Mark, hey, can we do this? And they'll get them that, whether it's some personal youth or just something like clothing, something simple that they don't have, a pair of underwear or something. And we all get together and provide that need for them.
Yeah.
And amazingly, they come back the next week. and I see a lot of them today that have been coming, that are, when we get somebody new in the van, they're helping them. They're instructing them. Or when we get there, I'll show them where the coffee is. I'll show them who to talk to. I'll introduce them to, somebody,
That's
so it's
awesome.
beautiful. It's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it's not work on Saturday. It's coming here, It's like, I look forward to it. It's like, hey, come on, let's get some recovery, because that helps me.
Yeah.
Also seeing these people, because that's where I came from. I was there not too long ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
Win-win situation.
yeah, your struggle with addiction has totally changed your outlook on how you approach
Yes.
these individuals as well, right?
Yes. I got a first-hand experience of where they're coming from, and although our struggles what we're dealing with in life might not be the same, but we have a common, denominator, that we've all been alone
Yeah.
without God, because because we want to be in control, and we're at the bare bottom, we're
Yeah.
reaching up for help. Been there, done that.
Yeah. And you're involved in a couple of ministries outside of Macedonia as well, right?
Yes, Celebrate Recovery. I'm a participant, and I'm trying to get on with them and maybe help them in their musical department. I haven't gotten in contact with the gentleman. It's very hard to reach, but it's been mentioned. And I do Narcotics Anonymous, meetings. My wife participates, and I also help round up people for that,
Yeah.
for those meetings.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Ron.
Yes,
So tell
thank
me
you.
a little bit about your.
Oh, and I got one more ministry. We're
Yeah.
just starting up. I forgot. I just want to get B's vest today. Motorcycle ministry, Sons of Grace. Me and a fellow from work are organizing this because we saw the need for it. A lot of the motorcycle ministries that are out there aren't active. They just like to get together with the guys that are already there and have a meeting or, a service. Well, we thought, hey, motorcycle ministry needs to reach out, do an outreach type of thing. So we're trying to be a motorcycle ministry that gets out to people, to the people that need it.
Yeah.
Instead of just, hey, come to me and I'll help you. That's our opinion of,
Yeah.
the ones that were out there and that we reached out to. So we're trying to expand that, and we're just getting started. But our hope is to help those in need.
Yeah.
You
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I can see it every time we talk, and every time Sunday rolls around, I can see it in the way that the individuals you bring, the way they engage with you, and
It's
all
a
that
blessing,
kind of
man.
stuff. Yeah.
They think I'm helping them, but they're helping me 3 or 4 or 5 times more than any little thing I might be doing for them.
Yeah. So let me ask you about kind of whenever you came out of addiction and into faith. What did that look like? What got you like to a point to where you were receptive to working on it, and then your salvation?
Okay. Only way is to go with the now I forgot. Anyway, I had nothing. I was at the point where there's nowhere to go, only deeper into addiction or death. And I had done recovery, and that was fine. But when I was in recovery and I was following God and had let go and let God for however brief periods I would do it because of my personality and because of the drugs, it worked. I was good. And the last time, I just I was a rock bottom. There's nowhere lower to go except death. And I came to recovery. B was in recovery, coming to church. We got married here. Mark married us, and we let go, moving away because of a job. We got away from the church, the area. It was always an excuse to not go to church. Whether it's too far, I'm too tired. And as I got away, the addiction took over more. The more I took control of my life, the more the addiction grew. And I just got tired of being sick and tired, and not having anything, and thinking about the past. Why am I here again? And the one common denominator was God, my faith. He was always there, but obviously I let go. Like that, I let go of His hand, and I took control. So when I realized that, I threw myself into it again, and that's where I'm at here. That's where I'm at with God. Without God, I couldn't do it. I couldn't be where I'm at today. And Macedonia, the people there bring me back to church. The freedom, the joy I have in all aspects of my life bring me back to God every day. A minute at a time. A second at a time.
Man, that's incredible, Ron. That's incredible. We've been friends for a while now, and I've not heard you.
I don't like you very much right now. Yes.
I love you, buddy.
I love you, man. I
Yeah.
love the church. I love everything about it.
Yeah, it's a day at a time, man.
Yeah, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time.
It's an active choice to follow Christ, right?
Yes. Yes. Oh, and another ministry I help with the music sometimes.
Yes, yes, yes. Ron is our resident cajon player
Cajon
for
player, yes.
Saturday night, and occasionally on Sunday
On
mornings.
Sundays, yes, sir.
But so we talked about your addiction and then you're coming to Christ, right? And then
Yes.
you're following Jesus now. If you had to put it in a couple of sentences, everyone has a before Jesus moment, right?
Right.
Not everyone has a since Jesus moment, but you do have a since
Oh, yes.
Jesus moment.
Yes, I do.
If
definitely.
you had if you had to put it in a couple of sentences, what would your since Jesus moment be?
My since Jesus moment. I don't. Well, yeah, of course it'd be a sentence, but it's freedom, happiness, joy, and I don't know how you would put it in one word, but wanting to go out and help people. If I got any time, that's what I want to do. Even if I don't have time, I want to be helping others get out of where I was. So others don't go there. And since Jesus, I've got all those things, man. It's not only material things. Heck, I got 3 cars now and a motorcycle. None of them run good, but in my addiction, I hadn't seen a car in my name in 30 years, or a vehicle. But the joy and the freedom and wanting to reach out to people has been since Jesus. The happiness, the joy, even the energy in my life, and when I get up in the morning, to do my Bible study, even before I do it, I've got this eagerness to get in there and see what I can get out of it today. But yeah, it's a newfound freedom.
That's awesome, Ron.
Thank you.
Well,
you very much.
Ron, I appreciate the conversation and you sharing your story. I know that's not your full story. I know there's a lot of details that we looked over, but you got a powerful story and a beautiful story, and I really appreciate you sharing it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nathaniel. Enjoyed it.